Imagine a world where every dollar you spend, every transaction you make is monitored, tracked, and controlled by a central authority. Central Bank Digital Currencies, or CBDCs, are being hailed as the future of money, promising faster transactions and greater financial inclusion. But behind this promise lies a potential threat: the erosion of personal privacy and the rise of unprecedented government control. Could CBDCs be the tool that turns money into a mechanism for controlling populations? In today's video, we'll explore how central bank digital currencies might be used to monitor, influence, and even restrict our everyday lives. The rise of CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, represent the next frontier in global monetary systems. Over 130 countries are researching, developing, or piloting these digital currencies. Unlike Bitcoin or Ethereum, CBDCs are fully centralized, meaning they are controlled and issued directly by the central bank of a country. The appeal is clear: faster transaction times, reduced transaction fees, and potentially more security in comparison to the current financial systems. China is leading the charge with its digital yuan, also called ECNY, already trialed in several cities with millions of users. The European Union, with its digital euro, and the US, exploring a digital dollar, are not far behind. But with great power comes great responsibility. Centralized control over the currency opens the door to unprecedented surveillance and control over the populace. A tool for financial inclusion or a weapon for control? One of the biggest arguments in favor of CBDCs is their potential for financial inclusion. According to the World Bank, over 1.4 billion people globally are unbanked, primarily in developing nations. CBDCs could bring banking services to people who lack access to traditional financial institutions, giving them the ability to save, transfer money, and conduct financial activities easily via mobile phones. However, there's a darker side to this. Once everything goes digital, the anonymity of cash disappears. Every financial transaction, every payment you make, can be tracked by the central bank or government. While financial inclusion can benefit millions, the trade-off could be the end of privacy. The more a government knows about your spending habits, the more influence it can exert over your decisions, behavior, and life choices. Monitoring and surveillance. Traditional bank accounts provide a level of privacy. Not all your daily purchases are scrutinized. But in a CBDC system, every transaction leaves a trace that the central bank can monitor in real time. This means governments could track every cup of coffee you buy, every charity donation you make, and even your social circles if transactions reveal patterns of spending. This level of surveillance gives authorities the ability to enforce laws with precision. For instance, if you make a purchase that's deemed illegal or socially undesirable, such as purchasing alcohol in a prohibition state, the government can instantly flag it. Moreover, this data can be used to compile profiles on citizens, potentially creating a chilling effect on free speech and association, especially in authoritarian states. Programmable money and behavior control. One of the most striking features of CBDCs is their programmable nature. Unlike physical cash or even current digital banking systems, CBDCs can be designed with conditions. This could take the form of money that has an expiry date, which would encourage immediate spending to boost economic activity. In China, some trial versions of the digital yuan have been programmed with expiration dates to stimulate consumer spending during economic downturns. Furthermore, governments could program CBDCs to restrict certain purchases. For example, they could limit the purchase of carbon-heavy products to meet climate goals or block certain goods deemed non-essential in times of crisis. A government could also freeze or confiscate assets without needing to go through the legal system. Imagine a future where your digital wallet restricts purchases based on your social behavior or political views. Negative interest rates and control over savings. CBDCs give governments a powerful tool for managing economies. One potential use of CBDCs is the implementation of negative interest rates. In traditional banking, people earn interest on their savings. However, with negative interest rates, the reverse happens. People are charged for holding onto their money. The aim of such a policy is to force people to spend, thereby stimulating economic growth. With physical cash, negative interest rates are hard to enforce, as people can simply withdraw their money and avoid the penalty. But with CBDCs, physical cash is no longer an option. Governments could enforce negative interest rates directly in your digital wallet, depleting your savings over time if you don't spend. Tying CBDCs to social credit systems. In China, the social credit system is already in place to score citizens based on their behavior. A high score grants privileges, like access to loans or better housing, while a low score can result in restricted travel, reduced access to social services, or even public shaming. Linking this system to CBDCs would take social control to the next level. With programmable money, governments could restrict the financial capabilities of individuals with low social credit scores. For instance, if you speak out against the government or fail to pay a bill, your access to transportation, housing, or even groceries could be limited. The ability to financially punish citizens for their behavior is no longer hypothetical. This is already being tested in some regions, and a fully developed CBDC system could bring these scenarios into everyday life. Can we trust the government with this power? Trust in government is a key issue. Around the world, trust in institutions is at a low point. According to a 2023 Global Trust Barometer, trust in governments worldwide is declining. Yet the same governments are asking citizens to embrace CBDCs, trusting them to not abuse the power that comes with it. This is a massive leap of faith for the average citizen. CBDCs give governments unprecedented control over individual wealth, savings, and spending. If a government decides to impose economic sanctions on a citizen, freeze their funds, or restrict their spending, there's no need for a court order or legal due process. The central bank can simply press a button. Can we really trust governments not to abuse this kind of power, especially in times of political unrest or crisis? The pushback and global concerns. As CBDCs roll out globally, they are not without pushback. Privacy advocates and financial experts warn that CBDCs, if not implemented with strong privacy protections, could lead to financial tyranny. Critics argue that governments could use CBDCs to impose financial repression, such as targeting political opponents or curtailing civil liberties through economic means. Even in democratic nations, where institutions are designed to safeguard individual rights, the temptation for control could be overwhelming. In a time where governments already use the financial system to penalize organizations or individuals they disagree with, the introduction of CBDCs could make such actions far easier. The concerns aren't just theoretical. Authoritarian regimes could leverage CBDCs to suppress dissent and control populations more effectively. What can be done? Despite these concerns, there are ways to ensure that CBDCs are implemented with safeguards in place. First, governments need to develop strict privacy protocols. These could include encryption and anonymization techniques that allow for financial transparency without violating personal privacy. Second, CBDCs should come with clear, transparent regulations that prevent the government from freezing or seizing assets without due process. Another solution is the development of decentralized digital currencies, like Bitcoin, that provide alternatives to centralized financial control. These cryptocurrencies offer privacy, financial independence, and resistance to censorship, making them an appealing alternative to CBDCs for those who value personal freedom. The future of financial control or freedom. As we look to the future, we have to ask ourselves what kind of financial world we want to live in. Will CBDCs bring about an era of financial efficiency and inclusion, or will they lead to a dystopian world where every transaction is tracked and every behavior is controlled? The truth likely lies somewhere in between, but the direction we take now will shape the future of money and our personal freedoms. The time to act is now. We need to ensure that the development of CBDCs is accompanied by strong privacy protections, transparency in governance, and alternative financial systems that safeguard individual autonomy. If not, we may find ourselves living in a world where money is no longer just a means of exchange, but a tool for control. Central bank digital currencies offer the promise of efficiency and inclusion, but at what cost? As more countries push forward with their development, we must be aware of the potential dangers they pose to individual freedoms. Will CBDCs be used to create a world of financial convenience? Or will they open the door to a new era of surveillance and control? The future of money is still being written, and it's up to us to decide what kind of financial system we want. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts on CBDCs. Are they a breakthrough in modern finance or a tool for control?